Okay, so this week we're going to start with questions 27 through 32. We're going to be looking at geometric sequences. All right, so last week we talked about arithmetic sequences. Arithmetic was I kept on adding or subtracting the same thing over and over. So it was adding or subtracting. Now for geometric sequence, we're going to keep the same idea, but in this time, I'm going to multiply. So let's take a look. Today, we're going to be working 27 through 32. So number 27, find the common ratio, right? Addition doesn't work, right? Adding doesn't work. Because from 2 to 12, it seems like I have to add 10. But if I go plus 10 on the next one, doesn't quite work, right? 12 plus 10 is not 72. So in this case, like I said, addition and subtraction doesn't quite work. This case, what we're doing is we're multiplying, right? If you can figure out 2 times what equals 12, well, great. That is the ratio. Now, if we cannot tell, I'm going to do a number from the list, and I'm going to divide it by the previous number. All right, what do I mean with that? Any number from the list. So I'm just going to choose 72, right? Any numbered, and divide it by the previous number. 72 divided by 12. We could have done 432 divided by 72. We could have done 12 divided by 2. Any number divided by the previous number. And this gives me 6. That's the ratio. That's the number I'm multiplying, right? 2 times 6 is 12. 12 times 6 is 72. Times 6 times 6 times 6, right? The number I keep on multiplying. Again, that's the common ratio. So here it is asking, what's the common ratio? I'm going to say 6. What's the number that I keep on multiplying in order for me to come up with the next number? Same thing idea for number 28. Interesting, though, is that my sign, notice it's a positive, then it's a negative, then it's a positive, then it's a negative, positive, negative. So that's something pretty interesting, but I'm still going to do a number divided by the previous number. In this case, let me choose 36, right? A numbered divided by a negative 6. I know a positive divided by negative gives me negative. 36 divided by 6 gives me 6. So it says, using according to my formula here, my ratio, the number I keep on multiplying is a negative 6. 1 times a negative 6 is a negative 6 times a negative 6, right? Negative times negative makes it positive. Times a negative 6 gives me negative 216. So it seems that each time I multiply by a negative 6. That's why the negative sign is what makes my numbers positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. So my common ratio, the number I keep on multiplying over and over, in this case is a negative 6. Interesting. So it doesn't matter if I'm going to get a positive or a negative. The way I'm going to find the common ratio, I'm going to choose a number divided by the previous number. Right? I do double check. I make sure it does work, and it does work, right? So that's it. Now looking at question number 29 and 30. We have 4 numbers there. My question here is find the 3 terms in the sequence after the last one given. So I see that I have to go negative 3, negative 12, negative 48, negative 192. I want to know what are the next 3 numbers that are followed on the list. In order for me to find out the other numbers, well, let me find the ratio first. The way I'm going to find the ratio, let me use the letter R for ratio, right? The common ratio. The common ratio, again, is the number that keep on multiplying. The way I'm going to find the common ratio, I'm going to choose a number from the list. Let me choose negative 12, and I'm going to divide it by the previous number. Notice for space purpose, I'm going to represent division as a fraction. I know negative divided by negative is positive. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Nice. My common ratio is 4. That means that once I know a number, in order for me to get the next number, I have to multiply by 4. Right? We can check it. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. Times 4 is negative 48. Times 4 times 4. Now, for my answer, for me to find out what are the next 3 numbers, I have a negative 192 I multiply that by 4 and gives me negative 768. The next number, let me multiply this by 4, and it gives me negative 3,072. For me to find a third number, I'm going to multiply this by 4, and gives me 12,288. Right? Because I'm multiplying, the numbers get big. So don't think that a number is too big. Look, I have 12,288, right? That's a number, just a big number, but they get big because I'm multiplying. On your homework, you guys will see that I'm leaving 3 spaces because I want you to type in each of those numbers, right? I could continue this list as far as I want to. In order for me to get the next number, I have to multiply by 4, but I'm just going to stop it at just the next 3 numbers. Let's take a look at question number 30. I have to find what's the ratio. And the way I'm going to find the ratio, let me use art. I'm going to do a number. Let's just say 864, and I'm going to divide it by the previous number. You can use any number from the list, any number from the list. So a number divided by the previous number. Remember, previous is the one right before it. I chose the last 2 numbers. You could choose, the second and the third. Any number divided by the previous number. In this case, it actually gives me 6. My ratio is 6. Now that I know the ratio, and I can even check 4 times 6, yeah, it's 24. I multiply it by 6. 24 times 6 is 144. Times 6 is 864. So I know I have to multiply by 6. The last number on the list is 864. So for me to find out what's the next number, let me multiply by 6, and that gives me 5,184. The next number, let me multiply this by 6, and it's going to be 31,104. The next number, because I'm going to multiply by 6, is going to be 186,624. Again, for your homework, I'm going to leave spaces. I want to leave spaces there for your numbers. You just have to type in those 3 numbers. Okay? That's all you got to do. I'm leaving 3 spaces because the whole question is worth 1 point. But let's say, what if you get 2 right and 1 wrong? It could happen. Well, that gives you 0.67 points, right? You could get partial credit. That's why I'm leaving 3 spaces, because 3 numbers. Now let's take a look at question number 31. Let me find the ratio first. The ratio is very, very important. The common ratio. I'm going to use art for ratio. And the way I'm going to find out what's the ratio, I'm going to go a number. I'm going to choose 9. I'm choosing a number from the list, and I'm going to divide it by the number before it. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So my ratio is 3. Now, I want you to find the 11th number on the list. Now, I'm not going to ask you to write all 11 numbers from the list, or you have the 4th number. You don't have to find the 5th, 6th, 7th, all the way to 11. Instead, the way we're going to figure it out, we're going to say, all right, my first number is 1. And it seems like I have to multiply 3 many times. I'm going to multiply this by 3 many times. We start counting on the second number. So I'm going to have to multiply 3 only 10 times. I want the 11th number, so only 1 less. And this 1 less than the number that I want because I start counting from the second number, right? I start multiplying by 3 on the second number. Now make sure you know how to use your calculator, right? 3 to the 10th. Usually you will see a key that represents x to the y. Or you could do 3 to the 10th. Make sure you know how to type 3 to the 10th. Notice I'm going to do my exponent first. So I'm going to go 3 to the 10th. And whatever I get, I'm going to multiply it by this number at the beginning. So I'm going to go 3 to the 10th. I'm using a calculator. It gives me 59,049. I multiply by the first number on the list, which is the 1, and my result will be 59,049. Okay, that's going to be my number. So what we did is we find the ratio. We see how many times we have to multiply the ratio. Because I'm finding the 11th number in the list, I have to multiply it only 10 times. It is always one less. Okay, let's take a look at one more example. Let me find the ratio here. The way I'm going to find the ratio, I'm going to choose a number, let's say 6, divided by the previous number. 6 divided by -3 is a -2. So I find my ratio. So the way I'm going to find the 12th number on the list, because that's what I'm finding here, I'm going to use the first number, -3. And I have to multiply this by a -2. My ratio is -2. In order for us to not see it as a minus, I'm going to use a parenthesis. My ratio is a -2, right? The -3 is the first number on the list. My ratio is a -2. Because I start multiplying from the second number, once I get the second number, I'm going to multiply my ratio 11 times, right? I want the 12th number on the list. So I'm going to multiply my ratio 11 times. Again, we start using the ratio starting from the second number. So it's always going to be one less. Now, -2 to the 11th, right? Make sure you know how to use your calculator. -2 to the 11th is 2,000, well, negative 2,048. I just did the exponent, -2 to the 11th. Whatever I get, which is negative 2,048, I'm going to multiply by -3, which is the number, the beginning of my list. And it gives me 6,144. I don't want you to get the 12 numbers for you to see which one's the 12th number. I want you to get the ratio, right? You could do it the long way. You could write the first 12 numbers, but good luck to you if I ask you for the 87th number. Again, it will help you if you do the first number times the ratio one less time, right? I was looking for the 12th number in the list, so I did the ratio 11 times. If I wanted to know which one's the 57th number on the list, I will use my ratio 56 times, right? It's always one less. Said I was going to work questions 27 through 32. Those are our notes for today.